8:39 exactly, news and views right here on Salam Media. We are now going to be talking to AZAPO spokesperson, and that's you, Gaontebale Nodoba, regarding the issue of the UCT Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng. And obviously, the Black People's National Crisis Committee notes with very deep concern the article titled Dark Days, Accusations of Capture and Governance Instability. This was published by the Daily Maverick on the 3rd of October. Obviously, a number of allegations relating to the institutional health of the University of Cape Town under the leadership of the Vice Chancellor. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program. And you have some very strong thoughts about this issue, do you not?
Good morning. Salam alaikum,
Wa
Julie.
alaikum salam. Wa alaikum salam.
And the viewers of Salam Media. Thank you for this opportunity. We, as AZAPO, look as an organization of Black people, an organization anchored in the philosophy of Black consciousness. We'll generally be concerned when Black people, the dignity of Black people, is being dragged in the mud. Black people being portrayed as being devilish. Black people being portrayed as being mediocre, as being people who are actually not following ethics, who are not ethical. AZAPO will definitely be concerned, especially, Julie, and the viewers of Salam Media. A re-lionized AZAPO will be an AZAPO that will definitely not stand back when blackness, you see, the attack against Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng is not an attack against an individual. It's an attack, according to AZAPO, it's an attack on blackness. So blackness is being attacked here, Julie.
Let me ask you this all-important question. I do digress here, and I'm glad that there are organizations like AZAPO keeping their beady eyes open on such issues, very specifically on Black professionals whom we deem could be the greatest leaders of our country and to take our country out of the mess that they are currently finding themselves in due to corruption, corrupt politicians. Where do you stand on that issue? And do you not believe that because of corrupt politicians, we as Black people are opening ourselves up to these type of attacks by non-Black journalists and media, for that matter?
No. Julie, I generally hear you. That's why AZAPO, you see, AZAPO stands firm on Black excellence. I mean, you can see even from inception. I mean, our predecessors, the Black People's Convention, SASO, where we took over in 1978 as AZAPO when we regrouped, to say first and foremost, Black consciousness is about self-love. Black consciousness is about self-reliance. But most importantly, Black consciousness is about selflessness, Julie. It's about serving. So in AZAPO, we cannot accommodate, we cannot sympathize with any leader who becomes unethical, who is corrupt, because it means when you are corrupt, you are not selfless. So you go against that value of Black consciousness, which is selflessness. You also go against the value that says you must be able to epitomize excellence. Now, that's what Black consciousness is all about. It speaks about Black self-pride and Black self-love as members of the human race. So AZAPO definitely will say we condemn all people that in the name of Blackness would perpetuate mediocrity, will perpetuate a corruption, would actually also perpetuate unethical behavior. You know, Julie, stealing from the public purse. That is treason, right? We don't understand why these people are all not in prison. It's treason, right? And that flies in the face of what people like Steve Biko started, right? People like Unkgopotse Tiro who died, right? People like Bomme Winnie Khware, people who were selfless, people who sacrificed their careers. I mean, if we speak now, Julie, Steve Biko could have been a medical doctor and been comfortable. But he felt that he cannot sit back idle and become a spectator in a fight that he might, rather in a game that he must participate in. Now the game was, there was social injustice, there was oppression of his people, there was deprivation of human rights. So he had to put everything else aside and say, my people first, black people. You'll remember, Julie, in the trial.
Can I come in here? Can I come in here? I
Yes.
kind of wonder, a few weeks ago, we were talking about we were commemorating Steve Biko, and I asked the question, what would Steve Biko's thoughts have been like had he been in South Africa, had he still been alive? What would his position have been, apart from being a medical doctor? Would he have been a politician, and would he have voiced his opinion very strongly about the large-scale corruption that we're seeing now? That's on the Steve Biko, and I don't want to take away from your article regarding the good professor at UCT, but I'll let you respond to that question regarding Steve Biko, and then let's look at the issue as, why is it that Black professionals that are saying the right things, that are trying to get the country and the people in the right direction, are possibly being victimized? Why is that? So over to you.
No, thank you very much, Julie. On the issue of Steve Biko, look, Steve Biko, we can only judge him by his beliefs, judge him by the principles of that guided his thinking, him and his comrades of SASO BPC then. And those are the ones of Black consciousness, like point out, particularly the one of an egalitarian society. You see, Biko spoke of an egalitarian society. Now, if we judge him on that, surely Biko would have been leading a country that would want to usher an egalitarian society. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean, Julie? It means redistribution of the wealth. It means the reconquest of the land and working the land. You see, Julie, on the 19th of
I'm
October,
wondering, but then that brings to mind the REC faction within the ANC. So that's another story, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the ANC is another animal which I don't want to get into. You know.
Okay.
But anyway, let me get to the issue of Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng. Now, allow me for this discussion, because we are AZAPO, right, and we're a political organization. So to us, all Black people, even if they are not members of AZAPO, they are potential members of AZAPO, and they are comrades. So I'm going to address as Comrade Mamokgethi Phakeng and drop this professor title. And you will see why. There is a reason why, because I'm going to push it in the narrative that I'm going to share with you. Our view as AZAPO is, it's simple. The problem here in this country is because of the dispensation that we got of 1994. A dispensation that ushered in a quasi-bourgeois democracy. A bourgeois and quasi-democracy that does not serve our people. As a result, the ruling party, I don't want to call them by name because I don't want to give them free airtime. The ruling party inherited an inherently corrupt system, a system that perpetuates inequality. Now, people like Comrade Mamokgethi, if they get into leadership and they say, I get into an institution like UCT. Now, you see, Ellie, Julie, and the viewers of Salam Media, we need to understand what is a university. What is the genesis of the concept university? University, by its very nature, they are elitist organizations. And elitism generally will presuppose that there are those that see themselves as better than others, which will then go to what we call privileges. Now, at a university like UCT, with its history, the history, in other words, of whiteness. Now, as AZAPO, we've been following this since the Fees Must Fall, the Roads Must Fall movement. And if, for instance, these institutions in this so-called democracy, which I say is a bourgeois democracy, if it was not a bourgeois democracy, but a true democracy of the people, Julie, you will not have at UCT a body coming up and calling itself the Black Academic Caucus. It ipso facto means, as AZAPO, that indeed there are problems that black people, that black professionals, that black academics, right, have at that institution. Remember, a university is supposed to be a community of scholars. So all
Absolutely.
scholars were supposed to be the same. They are supposed to have the
Equal.
same interest. But then there are black people, there are black scholars who, because of the elitism that basically protects white privilege, right? They need to fight because it means they are just being accommodated. They are not seen as
Oh,
part of the community. So,
okay.
Comrade Mamokgethi is pushing, in our view as AZAPO, she is pushing just like Professor Malecha Puru Makhoba, if you remember at Verts, right? He faced similar pushback from who? A white, entitled, male, racist category. That is what
Let's come in
Mamokgethi
here.
is
Let me
facing.
come in here. Let me come in here then. Um, Unfortunately, we are pressed for time. I do apologize for that. Have you tried to engage directly with the Daily Maverick, trying to assess or ascertain the motive for this article? Uh, According to your article, the Daily Maverick creates a smoke screen by including a disclaimer at the bottom of its article listing the people who are close to the publication and those who have links with UCT. Amongst them is the embattled Director of Marketing and Communications, Gerda Kruger, who is the life partner to the Daily Maverick's managing editor. In the same article, there is a speak about the Daily Maverick having seen documents of UCT organizational plans which may have been confidential. These associations are a conflict of interest, and the Daily Maverick should have recused itself from running the story. I am going to try and get the Daily Maverick on the show maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, to give them right of reply. But your response to that paragraph?
You see, Julie, it would have been more ideal if we were appearing together with the Daily Maverick.
Absolutely.
You get my point. So
Yes.
we'd really love that opportunity. Because
In-
what we will now then be doing, you see, we are talking, they're not here, so they're going to reply, and we will not be there as AZAPO to talk.
Okay.
Right?
Let me
Yeah.
come in here. Let me come in here. What I will then do is ask Inayat Wadi, who does the Wednesday evening show, to get the two of you on board. And it is a much longer show. You'll have much more airtime. Let's set that up for you. And let me just give you the last 2 minutes to wrap up on the show. I do apologize for cutting you short.
Okay, no, thank you very much. Look, what we just want to say as AZAPO is that our understanding of this whole saga and this whole sensationalist reporting by Daily Maverick, which borders on mediocre journalism, we basically say transformation by definition should basically bring fundamental change, fundamental systemic change in an organization, which then means the foundations needs to be shaken and changed. Now, whenever you pursue a transformation, you will create discomfort of those who are actually custodians of the system and are resisting through inertia the change that transformation brings. So as AZAPO, we are not surprised that Comrade Mamokgethi Phakeng is going through the kind of barrage and attacks that she's facing, because it has happened to Professor Malecha Puru Makhoba at Verts. And the common
Absolutely.
denominator are what? Are those who are the custodians who want the status quo to remain the same. That whiteness must be the norm. Whiteness must be the thing that remains intact, and that everyone else, particularly black people, must be accommodated. And also the refusal to accept female black leadership, which borders on patriarchy. And AZAPO
Absolutely.
says patriarchy must fall. And Comrade
And
Phakeng,
that's and that's where we're going to have to leave it. We'll try and schedule you for Wednesday evening. You've got lots of fights on your hand. The issue between black and white and black privilege, and the further oppression that the blacks, since since the fall of apartheid, we seem to have gone further backwards rather than forwards. So the next fight on your hands as a ZAPO is to fight corruption, get all of these corrupt
Yeah,
politicians out
yeah.
of office, and let's have a
No, no,
clean country.
no,
Uh,
definitely, Julie. Definitely 2024, AZAPO is putting herself up for the candidature. And anyway, we've got an example in Musibudi Mangena, who was Minister of
right.
Science and Technology. No corruption,
Okay.
clean. So we
We,
are saying we are going to clean this country, and the people like Comrade Mamokgethi Phakeng, with the resolve that they have, these are the kinds of black professionals that we need, who don't actually walk on transformation and true change for our people, black people. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you indeed. I'm so sorry once again to cut you short, but this is, news and views. So the interviews are much, much shorter. Inayat will be in touch. Thank you for your time. Go well. It is exactly
Thank you,
8:54
Shukran.
a.m. News and views right here on Salam Media. Please stand by. We are going to be talking in a minute or two with Abu Bakr, who is with the Assalam Educational Institute.